This episode of Rick and Rick is brought to you by Taskin, the first name in ultra-stylish, premium-quality travel gear like the Taskin Denali 4-wheel carry-on, featuring a sleek, jet black exterior, distinctive matte finish, exceptionally smooth rubberized wheels, and compact, lightweight form factor. Taskin Denali is one of the most stylish and versatile carry-ons anywhere. Save 30% on your next purchase when you use the promo code R&R Take 30. That's R&R Take 30 at TaskinSF.com.
Next up on an all-new Rick and Rick.
How did Starbucks brew its way back to cool?
And why did Twix put two dummies in charge of its latest campaign? And they aren't Rick and Rick. Plus, loaded questions and a whole lot more.
And it all starts right here, right now.
On the one show that never misses a Rick.
And everybody rules the world.
And welcome to Rick and Rick Rule the World. It is, as always, great to have you join us here at the intersection of marketing, media, tech, and pop culture. I'm Rick Matheson, and I am joined, as always, by my good pal and fellow Comic-Con co-conspirator, Rick Wooden. How's your return to everyday life after our sojourn to San Diego this past week, Rick?
Well, you know, a little bit like a Marvel movie with multiple universes. It was bizarre coming back and trying to catch up on work.
Yeah, well put. It's been a multiverse of madness for sure. Well, we're going to be talking a lot about Comic-Con 2026 in an upcoming episode with our special correspondents, Eric V. and Kurt Ho. So listeners do not want to miss that. But in the meantime, our top story, Starbucks gets its buzz back. So Rick, it's early August, so you know it's time to celebrate the cool fall weather that's coming months and months from now with pumpkin spice lattes at Starbucks. They are about to hit the shelves again.
Wow.
But as much as we and our listeners might laugh, Starbucks says that its current turnaround effort is actually running ahead of schedule, powered by trendier drinks like those pumpkin spice lattes, faster service, and more food. Now, CEO Brian Niccol tells MarketWatch that novelty beverages and limited-time s'mores offerings, I saw this the other day, I actually wanted to try it, clicked especially well with Gen Z. And Rick, I presume that includes drinks like Tropical Butterfly Lemonade Refresher and Iced Brown Sugar Oat Milk Shaken Espresso. The numbers have a caffeinated kick to them. Third quarter same-store sales rose 7.9%, beating the 5.7% analysts expected. The company has also raised its guidance for the year, saying same-store sales growth hit 6%.
Wow.
This is a pretty amazing turnaround. They were kind of sucking wind there for a little bit.
Yeah. We talked about this before, and at the time, they were closing a ton of locations. They'd overexpanded. I mean, they're in every grocery store that you go into, plus in the parking lot, there's another one. And so I remember when Brian took over, he said, we're going to get back to basics. We're going to, get rid of some of the redundancy. We're going to focus on quality. We're going to focus on customer experience. And amazingly, he has, and we've seen it in the number. I mean, the last couple of weeks, we've talked about brands who lost their focus on customers, and it's negatively impacted their business. It's awesome to have on here that we're talking about a positive approach and a positive outcome.
You are spot on. So to be clear, Starbucks didn't get its cool again through just one kind of grand reinvention or a rebranding campaign. It, as you said, fixed the basics, then gave especially younger customers fresh reasons to, post to Insta and make a purchase in order to do that. But for the love of Pike Place Roast, Rick, I hope they don't forget millennials and Gen X. Because Starbucks, the Ricks were at San Diego Comic-Con this last week, and let's just say that we were shocked when ordering via the Starbucks app, only to discover that the Starbucks closest to us had run out of coffee.
That's right.
I didn't even think this was possible, Rick.
I didn't either. I was blown away. And it wasn't like, just one coffee. It was all of them.
It was all of them. No, they had decaf.
Oh, okay. Well, like I said, they ran out of all the coffee.
It's like the ocean running out of water. How does it happen?
I don't know. But I'm not a big coffee fan. You are. Like, what do you buy into this? Do you feel like you've seen Starbucks, turn a corner and they're doing better?
I do. When I have gone in recent months, I have noticed a difference. The one in particular is the expansion of product line with these trendier drinks, just as this MarketWatch piece was talking about. What kills me, though, is that they're like $8 a piece.
Wow.
Even the coffee. I got a venti coffee recently, and it was black coffee, and it was over $3, I believe.
Wow.
Yeah, so that part is a little innovating, but in general, I do think the chain has hopefully turned itself around. I would like it to make sure that doesn't run out of coffee. Let's just hope that that was a isolated incident because San Diego was overrun with fans going to Comic-Con, I hope. But that was pretty bad. What's anything but bad is our next segment, because when we come back from this break, it's time for the good, the bad, and the marketing, including BMW meets Law and Order Special Vehicular Unit. So stay tuned.
This episode of Rick and Rick is brought to you by Taskin, the first name in ultra-stylish, premium quality travel gear, like the Taskin Air Duo dual-sided compression packing cubes. One side's 100% air breathable to keep clean clothes fresh and wrinkle-free. The other side's odor and water-resistant to keep dirty laundry sealed up tight. Now you can pack up to 40% more in the same space. Save 30% on your next purchase when you use the promo code R&R Take 30. That's R&R Take 30 at TaskinSF.com.
And welcome back to Rick and Rick Rule the World. Rick Matheson and Rick Rudin. And it's time for the good, the bad, and the marketing, starting with Law and Order Special Vehicular Unit. My own head, shoulders, knees, and toes screamed out in solidarity when I saw this spot from BMW's M division. I think this is from the Middle East. It's a noirish courtroom drama style indictment of those banes of body parts, corners. In the spot, corners stand accused of generations of stubbed toes and bruised shins, until the spot reveals the one place people can finally conquer them, driving a BMW M series on track. According to Campaign Brief Asia, the campaign launches alongside BMW M Track Days later this year, so nice little synergy there.
As much as I kind of liked the commercial, it was also really kind of bizarre because there wasn't a whole lot of BMW in it. I actually just saw the video, found it online, started watching it, had no idea what it was about, started watching it, and I had no idea what to expect until I got to the very end, and then it was a BMW commercial. So as much as I kind of liked the commercial, it was one of those bookend commercials where the whole way through they're talking about something else, and at the very end they drop in the BMW. So I thought it was a neat concept. I love the black and white, but then again, I didn't even see a BMW till the very end, and it was only moderately tied to the whole commercial.
No, agreed. Without the linkage to the BMW M Track Days, it would have been a pointless commercial.
100%.
I have a feeling there was probably a bumper at the end that spelled out the details of the track days in the local market. So yeah, I think we're missing a little something.
That's right.
But this is a clever way to turn superior handling from an abstract product claim into sweet, relatable revenge against sharp corners. But word is IKEA remains at large. Next up is Twix's Dummy Dilemma. Don't look now, but Twix is turning Nelly and Kelly Rowland's hit song, Dilemma, into a full-blown ventriloquist spectacular. As Adweek reports, the spot was created by Adam and Eve, TBWA, and directed by Dougal Wilson. Called Double Act, it stars a ventriloquist and two dummies, trading verses, harmonizing, adding a sax solo, and setting off pyrotechnics while their puppeteer calmly eats a Twix. The tagline, 2 is more than 1.
Yeah, this was probably one of the most disturbing commercials I've seen in a little bit. And I don't think it was intended to be, but like there was a ventriloquist and you could see his mouth was open a little bit. So, you assume he was doing the ventriloquist thing. And so he had a dummy sitting on his knee, and eventually they panned out and there was a dummy sitting on the dummy. And so the whole time you're wondering, like, where is this going? Like, how is one guy controlling two of these things and singing both verses? And at first I thought this might be, some sort of the next horror movie that's coming out about, ventriloquists and dummies.
Totally.
And then it was a Twix commercial. So this one was definitely a WTF moment. Once I watched it once and then I watched it again, I kind of enjoyed it a little bit better. But the first time through, I was definitely left scratching my head.
Yeah, so the lyrics include, no matter what I do, all I think about is you. Even when I'm with my boo, boy, I'm crazy over you. Check it. I'm not sure I want to know what that's all about. But the campaign includes a 90-second spot, a shorter broadcast online and social cuts, and the part I like is a creator push inviting TikTok double acts. So I guess folks to try and pull off the same kind of impossible double act. So basically, after these, I guess, the last several years pitting left Twix against right Twix, the brand has somehow miraculously struck a warmer tone in showcasing its 2-bar form factor by channeling this freakish inner talky Tina from the Twilight Zone. Remember that?
I'm Talkie Tina, and I want to kill you.
And mixing it with R&B. Does it get me craving Twix? Not really. But at least now everyone can see exactly who's got their hand up the talent's backside.
So there was a company, I don't know if you saw this, called System Group One, who actually did some testing on the ad. I don't know if it was for them or just independently. And surprisingly, it received a 3.9 rating, I'm assuming out of 5, for people ages 35 to 54. Not surprisingly, it lost a point, but it actually fared a lot better. But the part that I liked is in their conclusion, they said some viewers liked it. Some found the puppets creepy, but very few felt nothing. I think that was an apt description of this thing. It was definitely something that's going to get a reaction out of you.
Definitely. It was creepy. Just like you, I thought, okay, it's a new horror movie. What is it about puppets that are just so creepy?
Rick, I think we all grew up watching things on TV like Creepshow, and they had stuff like these ventriloquist dummies in there, and it was always creepy. And I think that's just embedded into our minds, much like, Jaws made it so that we're afraid to go into the water.
Yeah, I guess. But here's hoping it doesn't make people terrified of Twix. All right. When we come back from this break, it's time for Loaded Questions. It's our multiple choice quiz game to test your knowledge of recent developments at the intersection of marketing, media, tech, and pop culture. So don't even think about touching that dial.
Hey, Rick and Rick Nation, don't forget to check out our website at rickandrick.com. It's double the Rick in just one click at rickandrick.com.
And welcome back to Rick and Rick Rule the World. Rick Matheson and Rick Wooten. And it's time to play Loaded Questions. This is our multiple choice quiz game to test your knowledge of recent developments at the intersection of marketing, media, tech, and pop culture. Are you ready to play Loaded Questions?
I'm ready. Just keep those ventriloquist dummies out of it.
Now, for sure. Geez, I can barely get the words out of my own mouth this episode. I can't imagine trying to get them out of a dummy. All right, first question. Last week at San Diego Comic-Con, we saw some of the previews of upcoming movies like Avengers Doomsday. Though they're looking good so far, we don't yet have total figures for 2026 yet, for obvious reasons. But in 2025, the domestic box office hit A, The Fan, B, A Windshield, C, $9 billion, D, $11 billion, E, $6 billion, or F, $3.42. In 2025, the domestic box office hit what?
I don't know the answer to this. I'm gonna guess 9 billion.
You are correct.
Right.
So according to Box Office Mojo, the domestic box office hit nearly $9 billion in 2025. That was almost flat with 2024 and down from 2023, but it's nearly 400% higher than that horrible year that was 2020. In fact, Rick, you got to go back to 2005 to get such a low total domestic box office figure.
Wow.
So far, at least, the best year for the box office in the United States was 2018, the year Black Panther and 992 other movies hit a Cineplex near you.
That's amazing.
It's pretty crazy.
Yeah.
Yeah. Next question. If movies hit $9 billion last year, in the United States anyway, which of the following represents total domestic sales for museum tickets in 2025? A, $2.5 billion, B, $9.5 billion, C, $5.5 billion, D, $16.5 billion, or E, what museum ticket sales? If movies hit $9 billion last year, which of these represents total domestic sales for museum tickets last year?
I'm going to go C. I think it was 5, right?
You would think, but no, here the answer is D. This is from Fortune by way of APM's Marketplace. Last year, total domestic ticket sales to museums reached $16.5 billion.
Amazing.
Yes. Now, here's where things really get interesting, Rick. So, book publishing hit $14.5 billion in 2025. Recorded music sales came to a record $11.5 billion,
Wow.
while live music exceeded $18.4 billion. Together, movies, books, recorded and live music, and museum sales came out to about $70 billion combined.
Amazing.
Yeah. Now, listen to this, Rick. Meanwhile, total sports betting in the United States topped $166 billion.
Wow.
So more than twice that of these forms of media combined.
I didn't expect that.
There's a whole lot of sports betting going on.
Here's one for you. What do you think the total game sales were for last year, video game sales?
I'm going to say $100 billion.
You're heading in the right direction. It was $60.7 billion. And, it's kind of split between, game content being like 52 and then hardware sales being 5 and accessories being 3, but $60 billion. Now put that up against the movies.
It's almost as much as movies, books, recorded, and live music and museum sales combined.
Isn't that crazy?
Yeah, it is crazy. I mean, it makes some sense because it's interactive and the purchase is longer lasting, than a movie ticket, for instance. I did not expect book sales to be quite this high.
I didn't expect that.
But apparently there were something like 4 million books sold.
Wow.
Almost 700,000 of them were physical books and then the rest were digital. So it was volume. And then music, that's always been higher. So I wasn't surprised by those numbers. But then you look at, like I said, gaming at 66 billion and then sports betting, $166 billion. It's just crazy. What else is crazy is that's going to have to wrap it up for this episode of Rick and Rick. Remember, you can listen to new and archived episodes of Rick and Rick Rule the World at rickandrick.com. Until next time, keep on kicking ass and keep on coming back to the one show where everybody's name is Rick.
And everybody rules the world.